Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. I would really appreciate it if you guys could press the like button, subscribe, and comment down below to show you like digital assets, but also to really support the channel. It helps out a ton. The first article of today is Here's another surprising reason why crypto prices fell. Derivatives. The traditional market's recent sell off drove crypto prices down, but the way it did so was actually a lot more complicated than even many of the most sophisticated players in the crypto space were able to grasp. That's because crypto's drop was staged in the derivatives market. So, this might come as a surprise to some people. Now, yesterday we were discussing most of the different reasons why crypto fell, right? Was most likely because of the chaos surrounding COVID, which then in turn led, I guess, stock prices most likely to fall, but also most likely because of oil and everything that happened to it yesterday. That's the second part to it all. Third of all, I would kind of state that it has to do with the first one is that people lose their hope. People lose their hope. They're kind of becoming in a panicking phase because of the whole, I guess, the whole mentality right now. People they're kind of thinking everything's a bubble, which also might reflect towards crypto. And then the last, which also ties in with the first, is that it's not really a safe haven. They're like, all right, where am I gonna put my money in so that it's not gonna hurt me? And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go for some like gold, no other investment. You guys get it. Those were the basic players. But financial instruments like futures and options make up derivatives markets, where value derives from and is dependent on the value of an underlying asset. In this case, cryptocurrency. Coupled with a massive sell off in the crypto markets, derivatives also contributed to the recent declines in price. So, a lot of decreases. We all saw it. A lot of decreases. But the crypto industry is reacting to the traditional market dump with a positive correlation. What that means, for anybody that doesn't know, S&P 500, for example, tumbled by 7%, right? A couple of other indexes tumbled by 5%, so to speak, right? And crypto did about the same thing, meaning, right, in this case, they're correlated to each other most likely because S&P fell, crypto prices fell, and because S&P might be going up a little bit again, crypto prices might be going up. Might not be completely concluded, but it's still looking like that. And the fun fact about this all is that people expected an inverse relationship or an inverse correlation, which means that once traditional prices go down, crypto prices go up. Even Brian Armstrong was that of that opinion. But what Armstrong and other long view cryptocurrency holders perhaps don't realize is the impact derivatives trading has on thin or low liquidity markets like crypto. Selling pressure in cryptos can create a cascading effect that is hard to recover from. Traders on derivatives exchanges like BitMEX and Deribit must contend with auto liquidation, which again makes the exchanges a lot of money, so they like it. Such a margin call like event happens after there's intense spot market selling of cryptos for much needed US dollars on exchanges like Coinbase. Here's long liquidations on BitMEX since March 7th. You see some crazy spikes right here. I don't know how to make it bigger for everybody to see, but hopefully you get it. And here's the short liquidations, also a couple of interesting ones to see right there. As people lose discretionary income and short term liabilities get called in, all risky assets are correlated on the downsizing for the short term, and that includes both traditional markets as well as crypto, said Kevin Zhou, CEO of algorithm trading firm Galois Capital. So basically, the whole story is the derivatives market most likely pushed crypto down a little ways further than people might have anticipated, or maybe that's also why, again, the crypto prices fell so much, even though a lot of people thought it would not happen, or yeah, whatever. People often say now that Bitcoin is not matured enough, or the crypto space is not quite there yet, because there's just a lot of key components of main adoption that's missing. But hey. Second article here was Bitcoiners in Europe reflect on economic shocks as coronavirus spreads. with assets from oil barrels and as well oil barrels or I guess oil, Corona, Bitcoin. They're all like household terms I think now the last couple of days here, just because we've been talking about it so much on general news and whatnot. Mike Novogratz thinks its strongest bull case for Bitcoin. Ari Paul agrees. Ari Paul of Block Tower Capital explains why he agrees with Mike Novogratz and why Bitcoin bulls should be patient. More aggressive rate cuts and a delayed Bitcoin rally. During his recent interview with TD Ameritrade Network, Ari Paul, the CTO of Block Tower Capital, agreed with the Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz that more money printing initiated by central banks around the globe could be the most bullish case for Bitcoin. He said, or actually TD Ameritrade said, is Bitcoin's store of value use case broken after its big break from bonds and gold? Ari David Paul weighs in. However, he predicts that Bitcoin could mirror gold in 2008 with a delayed reaction to the looming economic crash. It's a pretty interesting, I guess, relation to make, connection to make. More aggressive rate cuts. The Federal Reserve did a 50 base points emergency rate cut on March 3rd to cushion the devastating blow from the coronavirus pandemic. However, it provided only a temporary relief for the equities market that had its worst days since the previous recession on March 9th. Now that President Donald Trump calls the Fed pathetic and pressures it to cut rates in a more aggressive manner, and this is something he actually has been a real big fan of for a very long time. I again talked to you guys before about negative interest rates and how in Europe a lot of places are having negative interest rates right now. Trump is a real big pusher for negative or at least zero interest rates in the US. The Fed, or at least the guys he has to he has to listen to still, are not really of the same opinion, and it's not working for him. But he sees so many opportunities, as of course, the basic thing you could see right there is cuts go or rates get cut, interest rate goes down, people spend more, people invest more, which is again really positive for the economy. On the contrary, though, right now what people are saying is, all right, since Europe has a negative interest rate, over here in Europe and other places around the world, they're trying to get, I guess, yield on the bonds over in America or different places, which keeps the whole economic system intact. And if the US and more places around the world were to get negative interest, it could break it all. Banking would not work anymore because people will not put their money in banks anymore, which means banks would not be able to lend money out, and invest their money again, and so forth. The whole banking system would collapse, is what some people are speculating. A whole lot of different thoughts on that. I again had a full-on debate before about exactly this. It's really interesting. But he says, I totally agree with Novogratz that the strongest bull case for Bitcoin is what we are seeing right now, which is the entire US Treasury curve below 1%, Paul said. And then, last but not least, a delayed Bitcoin rally. Paul recalled the 2008 financial crisis when gold endured a terrible crash and made pundits question its safe haven status, which is right now, as of this moment, still questioned. As I guess you saw back 12 years ago, it was really questioned. Right now, it's being questioned again. Gold is doing pretty good right now in times of crash, just because it's a limited resource and people know it's wanted and it's, I guess, backed by a real thing. But it quickly resumed its massive bull trend. He predicts that the same could be the case for Bitcoin since it will benefit from negative interest rates, which the analyst equates for printing money. However, there could also be a delay. So it's all in a relationship with each other. It's all connected to each other, right? And you can always kind of relate it for yourself and kind of go on with the full story, right? If interest rates were to go down, more people are going to decide to not put their money in banks. And there's a whole nother debate about whether or not people will save more or not when there's negative interest rates, or when will people still spend as much money or not. It all depends on the savings rate of an economy or of the country. It all depends on what will really happen realistically in a country instead of kind of predicting it, because predicting it following any model is really a lot different from what happens in the real world, which is definitely quite an interesting concept on its own again. But that part is still, I think, to many people unknown. There's a couple experiments. I think there's a couple of results as well from think like a handful of countries. But still, the what the effect would be over the whole world, I do not know. And he predicts that the same could be the case for Bitcoin, which is that the question of whether it can be a safe haven is I guess still open, and thus right now it could be going down like gold did in the past, and then once people realize, all right, negative interest rates are what is really what they're wanting to do to boost up the economy again. Negative interest rates really again incentivize economies to spend and whatnot, makes the economy, I guess, sometimes pull out of the recession if you don't want to leave it to automatic, I guess, stabilization policies. In this case, they're going for a really aggressive one by cutting the rates like crazy. At least that's what Trump wants. Uh, then what does it say again? Yeah, then if Bitcoin could be called a safe haven, or at least will be kind of used as if it's a safe haven, it could again really increase the price. Hopefully, you got the story there. Hopefully, it wasn't too doing too long for it. Just want to make everything as simply to understand as possible. Recent bloodshed in stocks was different than drop in Bitcoin price. That's another completely different speculation. Hunter Horsley said S&P is down 7.6% today. Based on historical volatility, a 7.6% move in S&P is equal to minus 41% in Bitcoin. Yet, in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is only minus 5% down. Well, at some point it was down minus 11, but I get the story. And only minus 0.5% since midnight today. That's uncorrelated. Treasuries are up, government plus 1%. That's a negative correlation, which is a different thing. All right? That's completely logical. All right, he's just trying to showcase here this big move that S&P made here. Theoretically, relatively, that's what it is. Relatively, that's like a 41% move in BTC that BTC would have to make to have the same effect. It only did 5%, so the correlation is so low that people call it uncorrelated, right? It depends on exactly when you call something correlated or not. I mean, some will say, all right, my 0.6 correlation, so 60%, or I guess, yeah, just 6 is really nice. That's what I wanted. That's a showcase. Some people say, all right, I didn't expect anything to be there, but the 20, or I guess 0.2 or 20%, whatever you want to call it, is what I loved. I didn't know it would be like that. This is really correlated still, even though I expected it to not be anything at all. And you guys get the whole story there. It's just a little bit of a different measure that people take, but I personally still think that it's so convenient, it's so coincidental then that every time the S&P goes down, Bitcoin goes down as well. And it's also quite logical, just intuitively. People are not that safe. They don't feel safe with their money in these investments. They want something safe. They don't want to speculate. They don't want to be risky in times where they want to save their money for when things hit the fan, right? They don't want to spend money right now. You're not going to buy a $10,000 stupid thing right now. You rather save for when you really need your money, right? That's in these types of moments. So you don't want to be in risky investments at this point as well, because everybody's fearing. And that's why I think, they are correlated, because they kind of have the same motives to go down at this point. But on the contrary, again, this part is really logical. Treasuries are up, and if this is down, that's up. It's inversely correlated, possibly, or not correlated at all. And I don't want to get too far into this article. It's just an opinion on that one again. As the panic around the spread of the COVID-19 virus continues to engulf the globe, and traditional markets react negatively, a light is being shown on Bitcoin. Questions surround why the supposed anti-correlated asset is not flourishing. However, the correlation between the stock market collapse and the fall in Bitcoin price should be put into perspective. Well, yeah. Then, is Ethereum ready to fall below $200 again? Well, I think anything could happen. It's all dependent on Bitcoin. Jeffy Kahn here likes to do his really aggressive titles, really aggressive style of doing video, or I guess articles. But yes, Ethereum could fall below $200 again if Bitcoin does something crazy, or if something crazy happens again in the world. With crazy I mean something really big again, or some big announcement. It will just fall. It's not going to stick. Unless, again, we see some, Bitcoin or something like that being called a safe haven, but I don't see that very lightly or likely. Federal Reserve injects 168 billion, greater than entire Bitcoin market cap. Again, some are really liking this policy. Some are thinking it's the stupidest thing ever, right? I don't. It's not an economics video. It's actually kind of a crypto type of video, so don't want to get too far into the economics behind what I think about cash injections. But you guys know what Trump and what CZ think about all this stuff. They're not all in par with each other. As C said also, which is the CEO of Binance, by the way, he also said most likely this has just got no effect at all. So they're doing this, but over longer term, it's no effect. They're just making people do crazy stuff right now, making everybody just go bananas, go nuts. But the automation is most likely, or auto. Okay, if you have a line like the autocorrect mechanisms or whatever it's called right there, will most likely do the job a lot better. And this is all just kind of unnecessary and making the whole world kind of shake. But yeah, maybe that's the whole plan. Some people are predicting that. Digital Asset Esquire said, or ask, I wish I could mass block at once everyone on my feed that seems to think Trump was talking about XRP in the latest speech. What are we talking about here? Well, I just saw M6NR post as well. If tomorrow Trump announced XRP, I'll probably throw up everywhere. Hashtag XRP. And then Sir Khan said, probably not by name, but even if he hints at technology from America, this will be huge beyond belief. And yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting situation on that because Digital Asset Esquire said again, what is wrong with people? Are we that desperate? Did Cugs take over your brain? And I'm assuming that's like Cugs Baba or Baba Cugs or whatever. I just find it here, Baba Yaga, Baba Cugs. I think he's referring to that individual. But it also says here, what's wrong with people? Are we that desperate? Did Cugs take over your brain? The last speech wasn't about XRP, and neither was this one. Insane. And I'm wondering what you guys think on the whole situation. What do you guys think on this whole situation surrounding Trump and XRP? Do you think he has ever mentioned or tried to mention or tried to hint towards XRP, or has he never done anything like it before? Put it in the comment section down below what you think right now. Let everybody discuss, right? If you have anything to say to me specifically, just put it down there. And if you just want to put up your thoughts, just do it, guys. Just do it. And again, these videos are not financial advice. They're only for entertainment purposes, and possibly some parts could be taken as educational purposes, or I guess I'm going to leave it at that, just because some people seem to take offense whenever I'm trying to, inform them with my thoughts, or say I'm an idiot for telling people the things, or, say my math is wrong, which would be really, really quite interesting. But yeah, I think that was it for this video. I think it's a really interesting one. Really something to think about. What would you do if you had the power? What in the economy? How could you fix it all? Do you think the coronavirus is just a big hoax by the upper players to mess with our brains and get these assets down? And the stocks prices and crypto prices. Do you think crypto and stocks are correlated? Or even do you think that derivatives had a lot to do with Bitcoin's fall, and it's not so much the whole other ordeal that we've read about? Do you think a cash injection could save the economy, or it's just a waste? It's just messing up the economy more. $200 Ethereum, I don't think we have to debate about this. Anybody who thinks it doesn't or cannot fall below $200, I think is maybe not being realistic. I personally really disagree, but hey, everybody has their own opinion. Yeah, this recent bloodshed in stock was different than drop in Bitcoin price. Could be the case. Do you agree with that? Just put all your thoughts down below, guys. Put all your thoughts down below. There's so many different opinions that could be had on all of this. I just think we have to talk about this type of stuff over and over again, just to see what was the best stance to have on it. I personally think just holding is going to be fine, but it's to some people really scary. I understand. So let's discuss any questions you have. Put it down there. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody. Have a very, very nice day.